Hello and welcome to the Philippines. I'm going to do a quick update on the present weather situation. We have Typhoon Odette. Well, the international name is Rai, R-A-I, and when it comes into the Philippines area of responsibility, they change the name. In this case, it is Odette. Anyway, you've got this is we're using windy.com. Very good. You can download an app to your phone, or put it on your tablet or laptop as well, online. And this is the Philippines here. And this is you can get all sorts of information here. You can get radar and satellite, wind. Rain, thunder, temperature, clouds, waves, and more layers, many more layers as well. You've got a timeline here that you can move. Here it is, Thursday the 16th here in the Philippines at 11 a.m. And I can move that and see a projection of what is expected. This is at 9 p.m. tonight. And Friday 1 a.m. and as it crosses the central Visayas. In the Philippines you have Luzon, the big northern island, and this is Friday the 17th at 6 p.m. Hitting Palawan over there. So let me put it back where it's at presently. So you've got Luzon, the northern island, you've got Mindanao, the big southern island, and the central, what's called Visayas. And I'm on Cebu, narrow little island, relatively narrow little island. Anyway, let's zoom in here a bit, see where we're at. You've got, it's still offshore. It has not made landfall yet at this point in time. It's going to have some major impacts all the way along, even up, major impacts on up the coast. You've got Mindanao, you've got Leyte Island here, you've got Samar, and the island of Luzon, which starts here and winds its way on up into the Manila area. You've got Palawan over here, Bohol Island, Cebu Island, so Cebu City right in the center there, that's where I live. You've got Negros Island and Panay Island, and this is going to go right across a big chunk, have some major impacts on those areas. Now, this Philippine Sea area has very warm water, relatively, and these storms surprise a lot of people. In the past, I've heard newscasters say, well, I'm not worried, the storm is out here. I'm not worried, it's kind of disorganized and doesn't have a lot of strength at the present time. I don't think it's going to have much impact on the Philippines, is what I've heard a number of times. And then it gets into this warmer Philippine Sea weather, and very rapidly, and that's what happened here overnight, very rapidly it gains strength. And we've gone from level 1 and 2 to 2 and 3. And there's a good likelihood, one weather forecaster stated, that it could get very close to Super Typhoon category by the time it reaches landfall. Now, usually when typhoons, hurricanes, cyclones reach land, they start losing strength, and that's the case in the Philippines as well. One unique thing about the Philippines, though, there's a lot of open water between these islands, very warm water, and that can help it maintain that strength, depend upon the actual course of the storm. Now, what's happening on the ground? What is happening is most of the shipping ships are taking safe harbor. They're finding places, they're finding harbors to go into so they're not battered about. And many businesses are closing. A friend of mine who works at there was a big event scheduled for today in Cebu City. They have canceled that event, and many businesses are closed. I suspect the malls are open, and I suspect that many people who live in low-lying areas that don't want to try to live through this in their low-lying flood-prone areas, I suspect some of those people will go to malls and other areas of where it's a higher elevation. What have we done in preparation? Now, I live high enough I don't have to worry about flooding, and so that's not an issue. I generally keep a pretty decent supply of food on hand, so even if our electric went out for a day or two or three, we would have sufficient food. I did get an extra couple bottles of water just in case, because not that I'm going to run out of water. My 5-gallon jug of water will last me about 5 days on average. I'm not going to run out of water, but what if many of the water supply places get flooded, go out of business, lose their electricity, can't process the water? So I stock up a little extra water. I have charged all my batteries up for my phones and my battery pack. I have with my refrigerator, if the electricity goes off, I had to make sure that we had it full, the freezer full of frozen food and or ice. In case it goes out, it will stay cold much longer. Those types of things. Make sure we have our flashlights and our batteries, everything is charged, and we know where they're at, and we know where they're at. I've experienced Hurricane Hugo in the USA. I was in the Carolinas on the east coast of the USA in September of 1989, and Hurricane Hugo come through there. And I know the winds where I was at were about, and we use miles per hour, were about 93 miles per hour, and I was in a vehicle at the time, and it felt like a giant had picked my vehicle up and was just shaking it as hard as it could. Here in Cebu City, we've had cloudy skies pretty much all day yesterday and today, which is Thursday. Raining a little bit off and on, so we're starting to have some of the effects of that. Have a nice breeze. I've got my windows open much of yesterday, and today my windows are open. There's a nice breeze coming through my condominium. Anyway, let's move forward here from Thursday, 11 a.m. And you've got Surigao City. You've got Surigao Island out here, which is famous for the high waves and for those who surf. And coming across here, you got Bohol Island, you got Panguilo Island down here. You've got Cebu Island, you've got Negros Island, Dumaguete down here is going to get a good hit. Iloilo, you got Panay Island here, Iloilo City over here. The Bacolod City is over on this side of Negros Island. And anyway, let's go forward again and just take a look at the track here. As it makes landfall, here's where Thursday 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. It's gone over Bohol, much of Bohol by that time, projected. And we're Friday 1 a.m. Friday at midnight, right about there. Friday at 6 a.m. These typhoons don't always follow the projections made by all of the various weather stations, weather forecasting organizations and agencies. But in this case, most of the models show it going right across, pretty straight across the Visayas here. Now let's jump over to the PAGASA site, and here's how it's spelled: P-A-G-A-S-A. They've got advisories. You can click on Tropical Cyclone Bulletin Odette, and here's the tracking here. And we'll click here. Let's see. Let's bring that up to full screen and zoom in here a bit. It's eventually expected to. Maybe it won't. Sometimes these animations don't work, so we'll just have to go with what we have here. But anyway, you're getting into signal 3s, and 2s in a huge area here, and 1s further out, even a 2 all the way up here in Cagayan Valley region, signal 2. And the signals are wind speed. But the other very important factor, of course, is how much rain you're going to get, and that can vary even on a very small area, depending on what side of a mountain you're on, for instance. The flooding is going to be a major issue across much of these areas, and this graphic shows how they have increased several layers into even Cebu, Bohol, other parts of the eastern islands into level 3, and a very good chance that's going to go into level 4, signal 4, possibly even 5, Super Typhoon, or very close to that before it as it makes landfall there in a number of hours. Anyway, the flooding is a major issue, the damage to infrastructure, and there's other information down here if you want to go through and look at that as well. Anyway, this is the calm before the storm, looking out over Cebu City, off towards Robinson's Galleria over that way, and cloudy skies like this pretty much yesterday and today, which is Thursday here, and by this evening sometime we will be expecting winds to pick up. We've got a nice breeze, very nice, relatively cool breeze presently, but we expect the winds to pick up considerably. Hopefully there won't be any damage to this new third bridge being built, the Cordova-Cebu Expressway. One day I want to walk across that bridge, so hopefully that won't delay that. Anyway, all stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time after this is all over.